Welcome to this battle report from the 9th engagement in our Mediterranean campaign 1803 to 1805, featuring the British Royal Navy versus the Franco-Spanish fleets. In our campaign, each battle leads to the next, and then which one is played sometimes with what advantage is decided on the outcome of the previous battle. What ships are available depends on what you manage to keep from previous battles. Your total pot of points is meant to raise in such a way that there won't be any great imbalances in each battle. What you lose is experience, as each new ship you buy starts with an inexperienced or normal crew. After 2 battles where a ship partakes without striking its colors, there is a chance of it becoming a veteran crew. So after 2 successful battles, this is a roll of 6 on a 6-sided dice. 3 battles, this is raised to a 5 or a 6, for battles a 4, 5 or a 6, and so on. If at any point the ship strikes, this will start over, and a veteran ship that strikes is demoted to a normal crew with 2 battles worth of experience. A ship that is wrecked counts as lost. Any damage may be repaired between battles for a cost of 1 point per point of damage. If you are interested in this campaign, then once we have it played through and tested, it will be made available in some form or another, including our house rules. For the 9th battle, we used rules from the Black Sea scenario Blockade runners. We set the maximum number of points allowed to 1500 and the largest ship type available as third rates. The British fleet consisted of HMS Ajax a 80-gun third rate, HMS Minotaur a 74-gun third rate. The HMS Cornwallis, a heavy frigate with the sturdy and streamlined upgrades. She also has a veteran crew. As well as these ships, there were the 50-gun Razy frigate HMS Majestic and the 5th-rate frigate HMS Shannon with the more carronades and lucky upgrades. The French ships were the Tigre 74-gun third-rate with the sturdy upgrade, the 4th-rate heavy frigate Egyptian, the 6th-rate frigate Aimable with the sturdy upgrade, and a gunboat squadron represented by a small brig for aesthetic purposes. The Spanish fielded the 4th-rate San Rosendo, 5th-rate frigate series with the more carronades upgrade, and La Princesa a 6th-rate frigate. I also used Tabletop Simulator to digitally show and clarify ship positions at setup and at the end of each turn. This I did as the stop-motion video turned out very small and it's not always clear what's going on. The Franco-Spanish set their ships up in a dense inverse type of veg in the upper part of their setup zone. The British spread their ships out in the different setup zones, trying to blockade all the exits. The wind was blowing from the east to the west, so the Franco-Spanish started running before the wind. For the first turn, there was no change in wind direction. The 2 most northern ships in the British blockade held their positions at anchors. HMS Minotaur 74 performed a successful 2-turn wear maneuver at light sails. The southern 3rd-rate and 5th-rate frigate headed north at light sails, trying to close the gap. The entire Franco-Spanish group set battle sails and headed for the northwest to challenge the lone veteran British 4th-rate frigate who held that area of the map. No long-range cannon fire was exchanged as both sides held their initial broadsides until the enemy was closer at hand. These are the relative positions of the fleets after turn 1. In turn 2, the wind stayed the same. The fleets closed up with each other and a few salvos were exchanged. The French fourth-rate frigate Egyptian used her bow guns with little effect. Also, the British Razy opened up with an initial broadside. This also had little effect, but some damage was scored. Razy frigate Majestic firing on the French 6th-rate aimable. As described earlier, this long-range gunfire had little effect. The HMS Minotaur, a 74-gun third-rate, finished her maneuver and had now turned around heading roughly north. The whole action concentrates towards the northwestern edge of the map. The British 4th-rate frigate Cornwallis also fired a broadside at the French 4th-rate's bow. This scored several hits and a lot of damage, including a critical hit that started a fire on board. We use our house rules for critical hits as described in an earlier video. All this does is make it harder for smaller calibers and longer ranges to score critical hits. The fleet positions after turn 2. For turn 3, several things happened. The fire on the French 4th-rate frigate spread to the French 3rd-rate. Several ships fire their broadsides and damage is scored on both sides. This includes some nice maneuvering by the Spanish 6th-rate frigate to rake the stern of the British 4th-rate frigate HMS Cornwallis at close range. This is, however, mostly ineffectual as the Spanish crew rushes their aim and most shot end up in the sea. We are very pleased with our game mat, which we ordered from War Sigil. We can really recommend his 3D textured mats. More effective is the maneuver by the Cornwallis letting go anchors and drifting to give a broadside to the burning French fourth-rate frigate, forcing her to strike her colours. Even though rules are sometimes discussed and disagreed upon, we keep it amiable, and so far no duels have been fought over rules. This even though all of us are saber fencers and practice historical European martial arts. Fleet positions at the end of turn 3. In turn 4 the wind changed and was not blowing from the northeast to the southwest, a huge advantage for the British as several of their ships now had the weather gauge. The fire spread further and new fire breaks out. At the end of the turn 3, ships are on fire, the French 3rd-rate Tigre and 6th-rate frigate Aimable. Also the HMS Minotaur 3rd rate has caught fire. In the northwest more damage is scored on HMS Cornwallis by the Spanish 5th rate series, and the damage is starting to tell. She is at this point close to striking her colours. Fleet positions at the end of turn 4. Turn 5 is decisive. The two smaller Spanish frigates manage to wreck the Cornwallis with their combined fire and can, if they want, run out to open waters in the coming turn. They are, however, both heavily damaged and will not reward any points towards victory. The French third-rate Tigre strikes its colours after both fire damage and damage from combat. The French sixth-rate Aimable goes out of control and collides with HMS Minotaur third-rate and sinks. All three British ships in the south are now on fire and fail to put it out. The gunboat squadron has lagged behind and is completely ineffective. The battle is more or less over. Fleet positions at the end of turn 5. Turn 6 and 7 sees the final large Spanish ship, the fourth rate, out of control with rudder damage and on fire. She finally strikes her colours. All the British ships manage to put the fires out, and it is a resounding British victory. A costly one, as the Cornwallis was sunk, and due to upgrades and veteran crew, she was with 405 points. Of the Franco-Spanish fleet, only the two smaller Spanish frigates made it off the board and out to sea. Fleet positions after turn 6 and 7. This concludes this battle report. We are hoping to run the next one soon. If you want to and haven't already, give this video a like and please subscribe to my channel. I post battle reports, build videos with tips and historical facts about Napoleonic era ships and combat. If you have any suggestions for new content you would like to see or questions about this video, please post them in the comments below.